Study Session 15. Comprehension. Introduction. University undergraduates have a lot of readings to do, so they must be equipped with the skills of reading and understanding what they read. In this section, we discuss comprehension techniques and how examiners' expectations can be met. This makes it possible for you to read and comprehend well. Objectives. At the end of this lecture, you should be able to 1. Identify the main ideas in paragraphs. 2. Read and understand a variety of paragraph or text types. And 3. Answer examiners' questions on comprehension with confidence. Pretest. What is comprehension? 2. How can you identify the main point in a paragraph? 3. How can you determine the author's attitude in a passage? Comprehension entails your understanding of a prose, drama, or poetry passage or text. For you to understand the import of a passage, the first step is to read through the passage carefully. This gives you a feel of the passage. You will be able to know the field in which it is written as you come across the use of registers. Generally, the best way to get the main ideas in a passage is to concentrate on each paragraph of the passage. A good paragraph normally contains a main idea which is expressed in the key or topic sentence. This sentence is used, usually, to introduce the main idea in a paragraph. The main idea is further discussed or explained with other sentences in the paragraph. In addition, the explanations may be supported with examples and illustrations, say facts and figures about a person, place, thing, or idea. Finally, a sentence can round off the different aspects of the paragraph by tying down the loose ends of the paragraph. It is your duty to recognize each sentence and the function it performs in a paragraph. Does it contain the main idea? Does it expound an idea presented in a previous sentence? Does it offer examples or illustrations? Your ability to answer those questions correctly will greatly assist you in tackling comprehension passages. It is from these that you will be able to identify the major ideas in the passage, the supporting ideas, and other details that may be relevant to your understanding of the passage. It follows that the topic sentence is very important in penetrating the paragraph. So, how can one locate the topic sentence? First, the topic sentence can occur in different positions in a paragraph. It can occur at the beginning of a paragraph, usually as the first sentence. In this case, all the sentences that follow it will explain the key ideas as well as present examples to support the claim in earlier sentences. Here is an example. The things which could be understood by the brain are man, life, and universe, all of which are limited. Man is limited because his growth cannot go beyond a given limit. Life is limited because it has an individual aspect. And what is perceived through the sense is that it ends with the individual. The road to fate, S-A-Z. The first sentence in the paragraph is the topic sentence, which presents the items which the brain understood and their common feature. The essential feature that the items have in common is that they are limited. This is what the other supporting sentences expanded. Although the topic sentence often occurs at the beginning of a paragraph, it can also occur at the end of a paragraph, as in the following. Originally, the earth consisted of a ball of flaming gas, and the crust was formed from molten material, which later cooled and solidified. molten material trapped inside this crust is occasionally forced out in the form of volcanic eruptions. In West Africa, volcanic eruptions occurred in the area of Cameroon Mountains during the first quarter of this century. When such molten material from volcanic eruptions cools and solidifies, it is termed rock. V.O. Akinyosoye, Senior Tropical Agriculture for West Africa. In this paragraph, the key word is rock, and it occurs in the last sentence. The author's sentences are built up from the beginning. Each sentence contributes information to show the process of its rock formation. The first sentence starts with a description or exposition, which is further expatiated in the second sentence. The third serves as an example. The first sentence summarizes the ideas in the previous sentences and serves as the topic sentence. In addition, it is the conclusion to the paragraph. Thus, we come across explanations of the rock formation before getting to the final sentence that serves as the core of the paragraph. Sometimes, however, the topic sentence can be at the middle of a paragraph. In this sense, there will be introductory sentences before the topic sentence, while those following it give examples, explanations, and conclusions to the topic sentence. Witness. Perhaps it is because politics is like business, or maybe it is the glamour of the office. The fact is that politicians do not go into politics because of their love for the people, but because of what can accrue from the exalted positions. Elected people get into office and embezzle public funds. Failed politicians get ministerial appointments or contracts to enable them to recoup their political investments. No wonder a poet called them executives who play politricks. In this paragraph, the first two sentences are introductory, while the third is a topic sentence. The key word is politicians, and the last two sentences further discuss the politicians. In another sense, a paragraph may contain a number of sentences which have related ideas, but none of which can serve as the topic sentence. In this sense, one has a grasp of the central idea, but this is neither located within a single sentence nor explicitly stated in the paragraph. In this type of paragraph, we have an implied topic sentence. Consider the following, for instance. The proposed unity has never been defined, and consequently has not been disputed nor achieved. Concrete outcomes of the activities of the OAU are difficult to ascertain. They can be examined in three areas: political, conflict resolution, and technical cooperation. In sum, the OAU has been successful in about that order, from least to most. Fredland, Richard, 1990. A Guide to African International Organizations, page 21. As the paragraph is, none of the sentences qualifies to be a topic sentence. Each sentence has specific information about the activities of the OAU. Therefore, it would be wrong to choose any of them as the key sentence. We can then abstract the major idea from all the sentences in the paragraph. This may be put as: the OAU has not achieved much in its set goals. It follows then that the identification and a clear understanding of the topic sentence in a paragraph is one of the clues to understanding the passage. Another clue is the use of words. Certain words may be deliberately used by the author. Some may be unique, as the words politrics, and executives above. They may also be ordinary words used in special ways, as in figurative expressions. In some cases, the author may enclose them in quotation marks. These serve as signposts to the author's intended interpretation of the passage. You need to be sensitive to such words if they occur in the passage. Usually, such words show the author's tone or attitude to the subject matter. In some cases, however, the concept of topic sentence may not apply. These include excerpts taken from poetry or drama, where we cannot find a topic sentence as easily as we can in prose. The only thing you need do is to read the extract thoroughly and understand it. In examinations, two types of questions can be drawn on comprehension passages. We shall use these to sharpen our skills in understanding comprehension passages. In some cases, however, the concept of topic sentence may not apply. These include excerpts taken from poetry or drama, where we cannot find a topic sentence as easily as we can in prose. The only thing you need do is to read the extract thoroughly and understand it. In examinations, two types of questions can be drawn on comprehension passages. We shall use these to sharpen our skills in understanding comprehension passages. The first type is a traditional question, which elicits responses from candidates. In this question type, examiners elicit information that borders on different aspects of the passage. The question may demand the major idea in a passage. This may have been stated in the thesis statement or in one of the topic sentences. This is why it is important to look for topic sentences in your search for the interpretation of a passage. For examination purposes, if you had earlier identified the topic sentences, this would not be a problem to you. You would only check through the first, middle, or last sentence of paragraphs in the passage. Sometimes, however, the question can test the knowledge of specific information, explanation, or related examples. These can be found in most cases in the supporting sentences. In some cases too, the question may require information that is not explicitly stated. This aspect requires intelligence. What this means is that you have to follow the author's ideas, weighing the logicality of his ideas. You also need to read for embedded meanings, such that when the ideas are not written physically in the text, you could pick them up from words, phrases, or other expressions that suggest them. Really, you are expected to know what the author thinks about the subject, usually decided through the author's use of certain suggestive words. This is the implied meaning. If you have penetrated the message of the text, you will be able to locate the information required in the questions. In addition, you should be able to express the author's ideas concisely and pungently in your own words. The second type of questions examiners ask is the multiple choice question. Here, the candidate is required to select an option that appropriately answers the question. These alternative answers are designed to test specific areas of knowledge in the passage. They are to test 1. Your knowledge of explicit or implicit information. 2. Your ability to distinguish between the author's ideas and those borrowed from other scholars. 3. Your knowledge of the author's attitude or inclination in a passage. And 4. Your understanding of the use of language and its effects in the passage. To achieve these aims, examiners carve multiple choice questions in different forms. 1. Options which are correct. This type of answer may be a recast of the author's idea. A candidate who looks for a verbatim reproduction of an answer may not get this answer. In some cases, the answer may not have been explicitly stated, yet it might have been strongly implied. The examiner brings it out to test the depth of students' understanding of the passage. We can also infer from this that in answering comprehension questions, you should not appropriate the author's words. Number 2. Options based on mere suggestions. This type of question serves as bait for candidates who do things hurriedly. Such candidates pick answers that appear to be correct but are indeed wrong. Number 3. Options which are generalizations. When different situations obtain for different things and some of them have certain things in common, the examiner can use a question that ascribes features to an element which really lacks such features. Sometimes this can take the form of exaggeration. Number 4. Options which are partly correct. Options of this type start with a statement of fact, just to deceive the student, and conclude with a false statement. Sometimes, 2 parts of an answer may be required, but the option will give only one part. The careful student will look for the option that contains both parts through careful scrutiny. Number 5. Options which present facts outside the passage. When facts are neither stated nor implied in a passage, then they are irrelevant to the passage, even if true, for purposes of the test or examination. This is another trick of the examiners to identify overzealous candidates. You are required to be sensitive and exercise restraint in jumping to conclusions. Weigh your answers and be sure that the answers are really what the examiners require. Number 6. Options which contradict known facts. Some options state the opposite of the facts in the passage. Usually, such options are cast in a manner that will confuse the unwary candidate. In such situations, you should check the facts again from the passage. So far, we have been discussing different aspects of the techniques required by the examiner in testing candidates' understanding of a passage. You should, as a matter of fact, put each of these tricks at the back of your mind when you read comprehension passages. They will certainly guide you in understanding comprehension passages. I wish you the best of luck as you put in your very best in this course. Study Session Summary. In this lecture, we have examined the subject of comprehension. In the process, we noted some basic comprehension techniques and how the requirements of examiners can be